Hi everyone, welcome to Sweet Pea Sid's Inspirations. My name is Sydney and today we are going to learn how to do the double-sided knitting technique, which this gives you a color on one side and the color on the other side, and it does create a double layer to it. So this is great for making pot holders or maybe a double brim or anything that needs two layers to it. So you are going to need 2 strands of yarn, whether they are the same color or different colors like what I've got going on here. Now, if you do use the same colors for both of your strands, you do want to be mindful of what is front and what is back, which how I do that, I can either put a stitch marker down here, or also I just kind of go off if I have a tail still from doing my cast-ons. So to do your cast-ons, you will need to go ahead and cast on with both of your strands of yarn. You can do a long tail cast on or really probably any cast on that you would like. I did a long tail cast on. That is my preferred method. But when you do the cast-ons, you want to make sure that the colors are alternating. So the very first 2, they're not really going to matter, because when we actually start working on this very first stitch, we're just going to knit with both of the strands versus the rest of the way up into that very last stitch. So if you have the 2 colors here not alternating, that is fine, but you do want to make sure that your colors are alternating and they are not, you have like, let's say 2 grays here and then 2 of this pink color. You don't want that. You want gray, pink, or whatever color you're using. So after you've gotten your cast-ons completed, we'll go ahead and get started. So again, like I stated, the very first stitch, we are always going to use both of them strands, and we are going to go ahead and knit that stitch. Now we are going to be alternating between knitting and purling, and it is going to be color coded. So this is the right side of my work. So whatever color I've got here first, I'm going to go ahead and knit this stitch with the same strand of yarn that color is. So where I have gray here, I'm going to knit it only with the gray strand. Now you do want to make sure that both of your strands of yarn are on the back side of your work. Now my next color is my pink color. So now I'm going to take both of my strands here, and with the pink I am going to go ahead and purl with just the pink color strand of yarn, or my second color, whichever color you're using. And then now my next color is going to be gray. So I'm going to flip both of my strands back to the back side of my work, and I'm going to knit only with that gray strand of yarn. So that is how we're going to alternate through this row. So again, the next color is my pink color. So I'm going to take both of my strands of yarn like as if I'm about to purl, and I'm going to purl only with the pink strand of yarn, or your secondary color. So again, it is color coordinated. So again, I'm moving both of my strands of yarn. My next color is the gray color, and I am knitting only with the gray strand of yarn. So you'll go ahead and continue repeating that until you have made it to that very last stitch. Once you have made it to the very last stitch, you can knit with both of the strands of yarn, but I will meet you for that part. So now that I have made it to my very last stitch, again, I'm going to knit that stitch with both of my strands of yarn. And now we can go ahead and turn our work here. So you should have, when you're looking at the front side, you should have something like this. You should only see here where we've already worked our stitches, you should only see the one color, and then when we work on the back side, you should only see the one color other than the sides. So now we're going to pretty much do the exact same thing, but instead of knitting the gray, we're going to purl the gray, and instead of purling the pink, we're going to be knitting the pink. So it's pretty much the same thing, but opposite. So again, the very first stitch, we are going to go ahead and knit that stitch with both strands. And now where I have my pink color, I'm going to knit only with my pink strand, making sure that both of my strands of yarn are on the back side. And then now my next color is gray, so I'm going to making sure that both of my strands of yarn are on the front side of my work, and I'm going to purl only with my gray strand. Again, one more time. The next color is pink, so I am going to go ahead and knit only with the pink, making sure that both of my strands are on the back side of my work. And then my next color is the gray, so I'm going to purl with the gray, making sure that both strands are on the front side of my work. So again, you'll go ahead and continue repeating that until you have made it to the very last stitch. You'll go ahead and continue repeating that until you have made it to the end. Again, once you have made it to the end, you will knit with both strands of yarn. Now again, you should have only the pink color on the back side, or your secondary color on the back side, and your A color on the front side only. And you'll just continue working that until you have reached your desired length. You can stripe this, but I will not show you how to stripe in this video today. That will be for another tutorial. But to bind off, you will go ahead and work in pattern while binding off. So that is the end of this tutorial. If you did enjoy this video, please don't forget to give this video a like, share, comment, or subscribe, and I will see you for the next tutorial.